Hey everybody! So we are live. I thought today we should try and have a little fun with WPF now that it's open source. So I'm gonna clone it. We're gonna see how to figure out how to build it, make a little few changes, and try and use it in our own little app. Hopefully it'll go well, but we'll see. I haven't done this in a while, so it should be hopefully a little fun. So feel free to ask any questions and stuff on the chat, and we'll just jump right in. So. Yeah, let's first clone WPF. So we have the whole repository right here on GitHub. And right now the master branch is actually, as far as I know, building against .NET 5, which I don't even have. So I think the better thing is probably to try and figure out the 3.1 release that was just done. And there is actually a branch here called release 3.1. So this branch should match what is recently shipped. So we're just gonna go ahead and clone that. So we're gonna git clone github.com what is .NET/WPF, and we're gonna grab the branch release/3.1. So they should grab all the source code. That should just take a sec or two. There we go. And we now have the whole source code here of WPF. And there's something called build command. That sounds about right. Let's see what that one does. It appears to just run a PowerShell script. In engineering common build PS. So let's go find that one. Engineering common. I kind of like to see what's going on under the covers. There's a bunch of arguments here. Build pack, package outputs. Maybe it'll try and just build and pack it and see what happens. So let's go into WPF, say build pack. And I don't have the most fastest machine here, so I believe this might take about 5 minutes. Generally, if I go in and actually just go and open the source code in Visual Studio, there should be a project right here. It doesn't really work for me. I can't really build from in there. But when I build from command line, everything seems to be fine. There's a lot of dependencies that's being grabbed. So hopefully that will just work. Okay, so while that happens, let's create an WPF project that we can maybe use this in, because I think this takes about 5 minutes. So let's just say new, what do we call it? Test app. And then we'll say .NET new WPF. So this basically just creates a new WPF project. And we could do that in Visual Studio too. So it's there, and we'll just open the project in Visual Studio. And we have our little project right here. And I like to, every time I create a new project, to just build and run it. I know it's kind of the most boring app, but sometimes things go bad, and then you spend all this time coding your code, and then there was something wrong to begin with. So let's just make sure we get a nice little blank app. And we have plenty of time because we are still waiting for .NET. So actually right now it appears to be downloading .NET Core because it does it. I'll get a local version of it instead of using my installed version, which we probably could have skipped, but it's really neat for CI builds too, or if you're on daily builds, to just pull them on demand. All right, here is our app. It's working great. Okay, but how do we then use WPF? And I believe that should be docked in here somewhere. So there's something called documentation, developer guide, sounds about right. Machine setup, we need these workloads. I already have these workloads. Running DRT. Anyone know what DRT is? Dynamic runtime? I don't know. Let's see. Testing locally built assemblies. That sounds about right. Excluding presentation build task. That's fine. This is, I believe, the one that compiles your WPF. We don't really need to do that. So one says we can just copy your assemble app with the self-contained. So self-contained just means take the entire .NET Core runtime and put it in the output folder. So you don't actually have to have .NET Core installed. It'll just run localized. and then just copy the assemblies over. That seems simple enough. So build the whole thing, just copy them on top, and you run with the new one. But there should be a better way. Testing API changes. I like this approach a lot better. So here, it's basically add this to your project. And let's add that, and we can talk through what this one does. Boom. So first, the repo root, change this to where your local is. I put that in GitHub. .NET WPF. I think I'm building debug. I do the self-contained, that's the thing that just copies, and with this thing that copies the whole 32-bit version of .NET Core into the output folder. And then this thing then references all the DLLs from that repo root. Artifacts packaging, config would be debug. That's what we set the two up there. Grabs all the DLLs and also does a reference copy local paths. I believe that might be explained up here. They've done some stuff, as it says, to make it easy and relatively straightforward. So apparently what this says is if you have a newer version built on your machine than the one that came in .NET Core, it will X-copy it on top and replace the one from .NET Core, which is quite clever actually. Cool, let's see how WPF, it's still building, it's going. So let's, while we wait, let me just add one of the WPF projects to my solution. Let's see, source, Windows Base is a good one, it has all the gory stuff in here. For instance, let's look at, I like, let's see, dependency object. This is like the base of pretty much anything in WPF, like all the UI controls and anything you basically attach, have dependency properties on. Let's actually add some code here. It could be kind of fun. I've used this little trick before, like debug, right line. Let's do a dependency object. Let's write out the type. So get type, full name, name, create it. So basically what's going to happen now, every time this line of code is hit, it's going to write in the output window that this object was created. So it might help me track what's going on under the covers while the app is running. But that's not part of my build right here. I think it already built this object, but let's make this finish and hopefully we can get a breakpoint to hit right here and add some, basically some tracing information in here. And we can kind of put this anywhere, which is really useful for sometimes when you have a really tricky bug and you don't really understand what's going on, and setting breakpoints and stuff like this that's hit a million of times can get really tricky. So we can go in and add like some conditions and better understand how the flow of the app is running and pinpoint those bugs that you might be dealing with. So, come on. This is taking a while, and I can hear my computer is spinning at full speed. How are we doing? Let's see. Is there anything else in the doc? It's interesting, there's a lot of references to the preview still. It seems a little bit out of date. Oh, one thing we've got to do is, because we changed Windows Base and we don't actually reference it directly, it might be good to set a dependency saying like, when I build test app, make sure you build Windows Base. Normally this happens automatically when you have a project reference, or, but in this case, I'm just doing basically a copy afterwards because that's what the project is set up to. So this will make sure that if there's changes in Windows Base, it'll build first before test app builds. Oh, it is now creating NuGet packages. So that looks like we are about done. Yep, there we go. Build succeeded, 0 warnings, 0 errors in 4 minutes. I need a faster computer. All right, let's run this as first. Build it. Let's see, it's building. Let's see, build Windows Base. Ooh. That was not meant to happen. What are we removing? Some runtime identifiers. That I do have that. Let's see. Hey, dummy. I see you ask me what I'm doing. I am building .NET. Or I hope I am. It's not really working too well right now. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Why does it say .NET Core 3.0? We're using 3.1. That can't be right. Let's just check. Or let's see. Repo root, artifacts, packaging, debug, GitHub, lib, .NET Core 3.1. Oh, I believe we found a documentation bug. Didn't this say 3.0 somewhere? Right there. Let's fix it. Documentation bug. If you see a bug, let's just fix it. Let's see here, 3. This is the cool thing about open source. Before someone else hits this, where did it go? It's somewhere around here. 3.1. Let's just fix that and say updated target framework path to 3.1. Propose a file change. Let's see, double check. We just changed that one character. This is the cheapest pull request ever. And I get street cred for it. It's awesome. You should just do it. Fix the reference path. Did I break anything, Brian? I always break stuff, you know me. All right, let's try again. See if that helped. Build succeeded, that was it. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, it hit my breakpoint. I now have a modified version of WPF. Oh, and it says we created a matrix transform. So let's just get rid of this and let's, whoa. So you can see all these objects getting created. These are fairly expensive objects. And something I actually noticed recently, if I do a mouse over in this window, my output window goes nuts. I am not sure it's supposed to do that. Let's actually see what's going on. So it appears to doing some hit test and creating a rectangle geometry. That's interesting. Let's just step through. Well, it's kind of fun. See how this works. Multi-channel resource. I'm really guessing what this is doing right now. So let's step up. So here's, let's try and see what draw geometry does. Draws a geometry, but all I did was mouse over. Oh, stops walking. It seems a little bit waste of resources. We just create this thing and don't use it. And then we have to garbage collect it later. That's interesting. Brian, I do need a chatbot. Yes. Can you give me any hints and I will get a chatbot on there? There should be a little chat window when you're chatting on the window, a little overlay. Are you not seeing that? So that was basically it. We are now running in our own version. Let's see if we can add some new APIs. I have actually no idea if this works. Let's just create something fun. This is custom name. We'll just add a property. Oops, I don't like those. There we go. Don't use those uppercase strings. And so if we compile this, it does not like that. That's interesting. Members must exist. Ooh, interesting. API compat. I broke some compatibility, I guess. Get does not exist in implementation, but it does exist in the contract. It sounds like there's two places I have to edit it. Let's see the doc. Developer guide. Was there something about new APIs? Add API? No. Testing API changes. That's what we did. But really, adding new APIs is sort of a bit of a no-no. It's probably very hard to get a pull request through for that. But again, if it's just your own local copy, it doesn't really matter, does it? I believe, let's just open the whole .NET up. So we can open the solution. $69 projects. Let's search for dependency object. I have a feeling it's mentioned in multiple places. I should probably filter by the file name. And I've never understood why a specific search for the file name that's an exact match always takes so long in the Solution Explorer. I mean, it shouldn't really take that long. It's still searching. I mean, it's a big solution, but boom, boom, boom. Come on. Maybe just do the hardcore file search. Dependency object. Yeah, you shall not load. Yep. Oh, there's only one. Interesting. I'm honestly not. Oh, here's an object provider. I actually found it faster with file search. Way faster. That's the one I edited. That's interesting. So maybe if we do find all reference and wait another 10 minutes for it to figure that out, maybe we can get an idea of how we add this custom name. Or what if we build from command line? Maybe it does something funky. It should not take as long a second time because all the dependencies has been loaded at this point. It should hopefully only build things that changed. Anyone in the chat has a good idea how to make new APIs? I would love to hear it. I have honestly not tried that. I've mainly just been doing stuff like this or created some extra logging information. Especially when you have some weird binding stuff going on, you don't understand why bindings don't trigger. That actually been really helpful for me to just go in specific spots and kind of look at some call stacks and try and set some conditions up and better understand the flow. But I am hoping this one will work. I think it might already built. Let's see. There's nothing like compiling the same project twice from two different places. I'm sure that's going to go really well. Or not. Boom, boom, boom. Printing. Windows space. Compile in here. Maybe that was the trick. I have a feeling the big build, no, still not. Members must exist. I'm gonna do something. I'm just gonna disable this thing. Haha. I think it's just an extra check cancel this build. Oh, see, it failed in there too. Thou shalt not stop me. I'm curious what this thing does. I think this is just a checker for us to make sure we follow the guidelines. Here, full documentation. That's useful. Oh, see, it worked. Haha. Let's see if now I can say this.custom name, haha, equals new. Hey, Twitch. That's cool. So the trick is to just hack the project file. I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but I mean, yeah, one way to do it. I am not sure of that one. Members must exist. Does not exist in implementation, but it exists in the contract. That's really interesting. I have no idea what that means. But hey, we just ignore it. Cool. All right. That was sort of the main thing I wanted to do. Is anyone want to see something else we can modify? Do something fun? Wonder what would happen if we... I don't know. Let's see what we can find in here. Windows, have some cool controls in here. Primitives. Oh, that sounds scary. Media. Actually, I should probably add a different project. Has a little more fun. Presentation core is where most of the controls, I believe, are. System, Windows. Let's see. Here's all the good controls. UI element, such a nice basic UI control. Oh, you want to add some new ones? Well, I never really liked the hidden one. Should we get rid of that? Nah, we better not. Boom, boom, boom. Is there a text block here? I like making text blocks. Oh, there was that thing when you're searching here. It's taking 85 years. And if I search in here, let's see who wins. Boom. Go to File. Haha, beat your Visual Studio. It would be nice if that was faster. Let's see, is there a text property in here? So we have the text property. Let's go to that one. Property change on text change. I'm gonna drive some people nuts. Plus, let's make some evil stuff done. Replace. Let's see, M's with N's. Someone's gonna hate this little bug I'm gonna do, and then you can what? This would be fun to do to your coworkers. You can just imagine them trying to debug that one. Hehe. So let's add a text block in here. I cannot code. Oh, that's interesting. Cannot edit right now while it is building. There we go. It would be nice if I could edit the project that's not compiling. Text block, text. Morton, here's a who. Let's see what that. This is evil stuff. That did not work. Why did that not work? So the beauty is let's just set a breakpoint. Did this even get hit? Oh, it probably did not get hit because it probably grabs the text value somewhere. Let's understand what's going on. Interesting. It didn't pick up my changes. The source code is different than the original version. Aha. Remember that thing with the build dependencies? I didn't know to build presentation core. So let's make sure that our test app relies on those changes. It didn't do anything still. I don't think it'll work. What's going on? So another thing we can do is let's go File Explorer. Let's see what deploy presentation core. Compiled at 2026. That sounds about right. Because everything else was 10, 11, so it looks like it did get a new one. But somehow my change didn't work. Let's see what we got. So let's break, debug. Let's look at the modules, see what it loaded. Presentation framework, simples loaded from, oh, that was not the right one. Presentation core. That's interesting. Oh, presentation framework. It is the whole project. No wonder. Where is presentation framework? No wonder we just couldn't find it either. So let's do the same thing. Build dependencies. Make sure that one compiles. Let's try. So that one takes definitely a little longer. Come on. Okay, here we go. Haha. So now the new text is wrong. This is awesome. No, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I think I know why. I think it doesn't actually use the new text, which is sort of odd. It does not use the new text. Probably. Something mean is going on. I have a feeling it's gonna grab the text property. So actually let's look at this text property. So this would come from, let's see if it hits the getter, what it gets. There we go, create line. See, it reads the text property, which I did not change. But I can be evil over here too. Place. I'll just do it like this instead. I'm just gonna go for it. Oops. I'll build. So I probably don't need to make that other change, but let's see. My evil code has prevailed. I now have Norton Hears a Who, which is close to the movie title. So that was it. We have our own custom broken version of WPF that we can use for evil stuff. So you can imagine all the fun you'd have with that. But you could also go and make specific optimizations, like that thing on mouse move. Maybe I'll just disable it because I don't need mouse move support. Maybe I could just do like this and get rid of that. So that was actually all I had for today. I think next time we're going to talk a little bit more about just building some custom controls and getting into the whole layout model. Thinking about building some panels, building some custom UI controls, and so on. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll come back in a few days' time and we'll do another one. Thank you very much and have a good one.